Welcome to The Right Crowd. This is the second weekend and the second Sunday that we are having this beautiful, fantastical panel. And today's panel is a little bit different. I hope that our outfits are making you happy and bringing smiles to your faces. And I know just the individuals here are making me so very happy and so very excited because this is just going to be a fun conversation, amazing type of just personalities. And we're going to get into some really, really great conversations. And so if you're just tuning in, welcome to the Fanatic Fandoms panel of The Right Crowd. The Right Crowd is a virtual author expo happening every Saturday and every Sunday in the month of October at 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock p.m. And every panel is dealing with different types of topics, all sorts of different genres. And for today's panel, we're going to be talking about something a little bit different: Fanatic fandoms. You know, as authors and as creators and as creatives, you know, we make these fictional universes and we make these characters and we bring these new people and universes to life, but we've got our own obsessions and we've got our own, you know, books that we love, movies that we love, shows that we love. And I'm joined by two very special guests that have their own backgrounds, and you can probably tell who they are in terms of their amazing cosplay that's going on here. And I can't wait to introduce them and talk all about that. But we already have someone on YouTube saying hello, Judith Amayo. Hi.
Hello, Judith.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. And if you're tuning in on Facebook and YouTube, be sure to drop a comment. Be sure to ask a question. We are here to engage. We are here to interact. It's going to be so very fun. So to start things off, I want to begin with introductions. Tell me your name. Tell me a little bit about yourself, professional, personal, all sorts of different types of background info. And we can start with the lovely gentleman next to me, Mr. Cody Wagner.
Hi. No, you talked about personality. I was like, I'm going to be as boring as possible. My name is Cody Wagner, and I am actually the author of the LGBTQ series, The Gay Teen's Guide to Defeating a Siren. And I'm actually traveling, and I'm at a cabin in remote California, and I actually am overlooking the lake, and I was so excited to show everyone, but you can't see anything except for one tree. So I forgot to bring my books, and so I was like, Jackie, can you hold it up for me? And so there she is. Thanks, Jackie.
Thank you, Jackie.
Do I share my cosplay now, or are we doing that later?
You're welcome. We're going to do that in a second. We're going to share our cosplay in a second. So yes, but thank you for that. And I love, see, you can tell we're all like a nice little family where Jackie's coming in clutch with the book on the side. So thank you, Jackie. And moving on to our next very, very, very special guest who I'm so excited to have, Miss Jalitza Delgado. Take it away.
Hi, my name is Jalitza. It rhymes with pizza. I've been cosplaying for two and a half years. And I'm a director, I'm a writer, I'm an actress, I'm a voice actor, and I'm a cosplayer. I write scripts for movies, though, so I'm different than all these beautiful folks here who write books, but I love in each and every one of them here. Like, I love Jackie, I love Cody, I love Miracle. Oh, I'm putting the wrong way, Miracle. So, like, I'm excited to be a part of this, and thank you for inviting me to be a part of this.
Yes, thank you so very much for coming. And we have our next cosplayer and personality extraordinaire that I'm so very excited to introduce. I know him as Joe Hernandez, but you all will know him as Deadpool. Take it away. Tell us about yourself.
Good afternoon, Internet folks and people watching elsewhere. As you guys can see right down here, the other Deadpool. Long story short, I was getting confused for that other Deadpool and another Deadpool. So I'm like, you know what? No, I'm the other one. That's what I came about. I've been doing this for since 2012. I actually debuted my cosplay, not this one, but my first Deadpool cosplay at the Jailbreak in South Padre Island. It's a 5K obstacle course. That's where I broke this bad boy in, or the original one. Let's see. I'm a former child, now not. And I do stuff that sometimes I get paid money that is awesome, and sometimes it's not.
I love it.
Except whenever I get in trouble, I have to write memos and stuff like that. I love
I love it.
Even especially those guys who are watching. Thank y'all for tuning in. And especially this awesome little lady up here who made all this possible. So make sure you shout out to her and her stuff and all these other people to my rucksack. Over here. Mwah.
Thank you. And thank you for joining. Thank you for coming and gracing us with your presence. You're just an amazing personality. You're always so fun and so energetic, and I'm so very excited that you're here. And I would like to introduce one of my very good friends, and I'm so glad that she could be here. Miracle Austin, take it away.
Hi, thank you, Katelynn, for being here. I'm so happy and honored to be here among all of you. So it's going to be very exciting. Thanks, everyone, for watching and who will even watch after it's recorded. My name's Miracle Austin, and I'm from Waco, Texas. And I'm a social worker, medical social worker by day, and procrastinate quite a bit, but I do write at night and weekends as much as I can. And also, I'm the author of the Doll trilogy and also Boundless. So I want to show you those pictures. Then most recent, Doll 3. So anyhow, I'm so happy to be here and can't wait to dive in and answer questions. And again, thank you, Katelynn, for putting on this wonderful group, this virtual group. So I'm going to hand it over to wonderful Jackie, a good friend of mine as well.
Take it away, Jackie.
I'm sorry if my I'm sorry if my internet's a little wonky. My connection isn't great, but I'm Jacqueline E. Smith. I am the author of several books. Today, I wanted to focus on fandom books, though, which is the boy band series and a romance novel. And I'm just with the screen, it's all backwards, but I'm really excited to be here. I love geeking out with all these lovely people, and Katelynn, thank you so much for having us. You've done a great job.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so very excited to just jump into the conversation, jump into the Q&A, and we do have a couple of other comments coming in. We've got one of our other friends and author, Manuel Ruiz, saying hey hi. Thank you for watching. And we have Esmer H saying hi. And I noticed she commented during Deadpool's debut saying, OMG, I love your cosplay.
I love you too.
So again, anyone on Facebook or YouTube tuning in, please drop a comment. Please say hello. Please ask questions. We are going to make this as interactive as possible, saying hi, engaging, interacting, having interactions, excuse me. But I'm just so excited. I'm so excited to jump into this. And a little bit of intro on myself as well before we begin. My name is Katelynn Rentería, and I am the award-winning author of The Other Side of the Law. And I created The Right Crowd in order to just have, an ability for all of us creators and creatives and authors and writers and everyone alike to just come together. And, with our current world situation, we may be apart. I know right now I'm going to ask where everyone's tuning in from, and we're from all over, but we're still together, and we're still sharing, and we're still promoting and celebrating, and I'm so very excited to get right into it. And we have another YouTube comment from Ashley Garcia saying hi.
Hi, Ashley.
Hi.
Thank you for joining. So my first question, and again, we can go in order on screen, is where are you tuning in from? Give a real quick shout of the city and the state, and who are you cosplaying as, or what merchandise are you wearing? So beginning with Cody Wagner, what's the deal with you?
Yeah, hi. Okay, so I am originally from Texas, but I live in Phoenix, Arizona. However, one of my friends is having her big birthday bash, and so we rented a lake cabin on Big Bear Lake in California. And so it's super beautiful, but it's super remote, and the elevation, I was telling Katelynn, is like 70 million feet. And so it is like dizzying up here. So if you see me, just face out. That's why. Okay, now cosplay. Since I'm traveling, did not bring any stuff. And so I literally Googled white hoodie cosplay while we were doing our prep. And I found a Rocket Man cosplay. that is a hoodie. But then Jalitza said, "You're ET," so that's what I'm going with.
I love it. I love it.
Help! No, she didn't say help.
I love it so much. Yes. And so, Jalitza, where are you tuning in from? And tell us all about your cosplay.
I am tuning in from the great city of Dallas, Texas, and I am currently cosplaying Sailor Mars from the series Sailor Moon, a wonderful magical girl anime, and it was one of my very first animes I watched, and I fell in love with Sailor Mars because we're both fire signs. She was also born in April, so I relate to Sailor Mars a lot. And this is actually the first time I broke her out because I just recently got this cosplay off of my wish list from one of my followers on my Instagram. So if you're watching my Instagram follower who bought me this, thank you so much.
I love it. I love it so much. And you look so good. I know earlier the way that you were positioned, the light just like sparkled off the little jet. And I was like, wow, it looked really good. And I wonder what 2 Deadpool could be cosplaying as. But why don't you go ahead and tell us where you're tuning in from and all about your cosplay?
I'm originally from H-Town, Houston, Texas, but now residing in the down south RGV area. I'm actually cosplaying. I was going to be, well, I'm not sus, so I'm actually Ripley from Aliens. Yes. With my face hugger right here. Just kidding, guys. It's not real.
I think Jackie might have had some connectivity issues, but I hope she can jump on back. I know I was so excited to have her here. But Miracle, tell us where you're tuning in from and any merch that you might have.
Sure. I'm sorry. I kind of answered that question earlier. So from Waco, Texas, and I'm wearing a mashup shirt of the Star Wars universe and Stranger Things. I'm trying to show you here. 11 is got Darth Vader up in the air. I'm sure she has her reasons. And also wearing a Harry Potter necklace. So that's it. That's all I have. I see Jackie's back, and she can really tell you about her awesome costume.
Yes, Jackie's back. So Jackie, tell us where
I'm having major connectivity.
No, you're good.
So I'm from Dallas, Texas. I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm from Dallas, Texas, having major connectivity issues. I don't know why this makes me sad, but I am cosplaying as 11 from Stranger Things. Stranger Things is one of my very favorite fandoms, and I even have, where is he? My dad here with me, Hopper.
Yes. Ooh, that was raspy.
I love it.
Yep.
And for myself, I am cosplaying as Tadashi Hamada from the movie and the series Big Hero 6. He is one of my absolute favorite Disney characters. I bought this cardigan like years ago, and then I was like going through my closet and everything, and I was like, wait a minute, and drew the dots, made it happen. And you can't be Tadashi without his mint green Converse. So I do have those, even though they may not be on screen. But yes. And before we jump into more questions, I do have a couple of comments coming in. Manuel Ruiz says, I do want to know if Jackie is cosplaying as Vanna White for Cody's Una Bomber.
Oh my God. Oh.
You're terrible.
No, I'm 11. I am 11 from Stranger Things.
Yeah. Her outfit.
Friends don't lie.
Her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Friends
You made me
never
throw the
lie.
hood back. The hood
And
comes
I
off
do
the
have
fucking one.
Manual.
I have a comment from a very good friend of mine here from the Rio
Emmanuel
Grande
was
Valley,
saying
Raul Martinez
Alexander
Jr.
Hamilton.
True.
Hi, Raul.
Raul says hi. So good to see you, Raul. Thank you for joining. And
I was there.
I do have Rosario Ozuna, a lovely librarian from Gruya Middle School, saying, hi, everybody. Awesome to meet y'all. Yay. Thank you for tuning in, Rosario.
Hello.
And she also says, so nice to see you,
to meet
Miracle.
you.
My book club kids really loved Doll.
Oh, thank you,
Yay.
Rosario.
And we do have a couple of other comments, including Genesis Martinez Hernandez saying, Yahoo. And Manuel Ruiz says, hop, Stranger Things rules. And
Wait.
I already
There
have
you go.
a question.
He's
Guys,
right.
So before Manuel, that last comment, that was from his icon was from Haikyuu, right?
yes, and I actually have.
Okay.
They also asked a question, so even before I can jump into questions, they already asked one saying, "What's y'all's favorite anime?"
I love Genesis. Oh my gosh, that is okay. I'm sorry, I don't want to jump in, but is it okay if I like jump in
No,
real fast?
go.
Okay.
Take off with it. Go.
I love Genesis. I love your icon because
Yes.
I actually have my
Uh-oh.
Haikyuu cup with me right now with my baby boy Nishinoya because I adore him so much. All the boys. Because it was Nishinoya's birthday yesterday. And I'm just obsessed with this man. But Haikyuu is one of my favorite animes. Of course, Sailor Moon. My Hero Academia is like up there as well. I adore My Hero. Ochaku Uraka is my favorite character from there. And Midoriya and Bakugo, of course. But Ochaku is always best girl for me. And I love magical girl series. I love soft animes. So that is my niche, if that points in any direction for you.
I love it. I love it. And I know for myself, like Jackie was joking around with me that I'm just a little anime sprout that I haven't really begun to like delve into a lot of anime, but I have started watching, or not even started watching. I have it completely finished. I read all the manga chapters as they come out. My Hero Academia, obsessed. It's absolutely one of my favorite TV shows of all time. I recently started The God of High School, and I'm very excited to continue with that. And I have seen a couple of others, including like Snow White with the red hair, and I'm trying to get into some others and, you know, grow all of that. But does anyone else have some animes that they're interested in and would like to speak and talk about?
Sure. Is there anybody?
Yes?
I watched Pokemon a lot as a kid. that's about it, unfortunately for me. But I loved the first two seasons. I played Pokemon Go. Jalitza will tell you, we played Pokemon Go on a road trip to Atlanta. We stopped at every single state, you know, what are they called? Like the state welcoming
Rest stop.
places. And every single one had a rest stop. Thank you. And every single one had a Pokemon stop. And so we played Pokemon Go that entire trip.
I love it. I love it. And Deadpool, you had an anime that you want to talk about? Yes.
Yes, I grew up on Dragon Ball. Where's the camera? Dragon Ball, Sailor Moon, and Ronin Warriors. And then school, this kind of dates me. I got into Neo Genesis Evangelion VHS version. Just to know how hardcore a fan, I actually have the limited edition. This bad boy you cannot find anywhere. It's so hard to find. I'm glad I never sold it or listened to my mom for selling it in garage sales. Original ones right here.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. I love it. And I do have some comments coming in also from Rosario Zuna, One Book or Novel at a Time on YouTube, saying Genesis, Ashley, and Esmeralda are part of my book club, kids. Yay, guys, for joining in. Thank you for joining in, guys. Thank you. And I think Genesis had said in one of the other animes that was their first anime. And Rosario also says, Katelynn, big shout out to my Ace GMS book club kiddos for joining. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here.
And Katelynn, did Cody have one before I answer the question? I didn't want to answer if Cody didn't have a chance to answer if he has a favorite anime.
Yeah.
So I was being very quiet on purpose. I haven't watched a ton of anime. However, I did get into Inuyasha, which I thought was really cool. Yeah. Oh, good. Okay, good. But people are going to stab me for this because it's not technically anime. But I will say that Avatar: The Last Airbender.
It is considered as an anime. It is considered as an anime, and I stand by this statement. Yes.
I'm watching
It's
it
amazing.
for the second
Amazing.
time through because the bloodbending episode was everything. Oh.
Katara is on my cosplay plan list. She's on my cosplans. I want to cosplay her. She is a baddie. I love her.
Yes.
Suki's on my list. Suki's on my list to cosplay.
Or UA? Like, I would love to watch UA too.
Oh my gosh. Yes, yes. And Genesis is saying that she loves all of our cosplays. Thank you. Thank you. And so, Miracle, any of your favorite anime?
I do, Caitlin. I have an oldie but a goodie. I grew up with this one, Battle of the Planets, G-Force, when I was young.
G-Force.
Yeah, I love that one. That kind of introduced me into that world. And then my husband introduced me to Ninja Scroll. I didn't know anything about that until he introduced me to that. And I was like, my goodness. And then Death Note and recently Parasite. I started watching recently. So
Parasite, immaculate. Yes. 10 10.
I'm enjoying that one a lot. It's different.
What is
It's very
happening?
different. So wasn't expecting, but it's quite interesting. So yes.
I love it. And I want to shout out to the audience. Please keep your eyes trained. Where am I pointing? Over here, because there's going to be some really great random amazing happenings over there. And just
below. You could have had a face hugger on earlier. It just states real fast. Just burster. Goodly. Yeah, short hair.
Short hair. Let me see. I did want to ask for everyone here, because I know we probably have like 10,000 different ones, but it could be what you're cosplaying as or something different of what is a very major like fandom that you belong to, or something that is very close to your heart. You could just go on and on and on and on, like talking about it, discussing it, like what's a really big fictional universe for you. And we'll kick off with Cody.
Oh gosh. Oh, so many. Okay. I'm actually going to tell about one of my first ones because it's really funny. So I got obsessed with Transformers, and I mean like obsessed with them. And I so admired Optimus Prime and like what he stood for. And that's why I so related to that, is the kindness that they showed in face of adversity. I became so obsessed with him that instead of like, what would Jesus do? I literally would be like, what would Optimus Prime do? And whenever I was a kid, I would base my actions on if Optimus Prime was judging me and if he would think it was okay. And so I would like save a cat and be like, Optimus Prime would approve. And it was just the weirdest thing ever.
I love it. And so Jalitza, yourself, what is a huge fandom or fictional universe that is very close to your heart?
Oh my gosh. Again, Sailor Moon. It was the first thing I started watching because I only got into anime in 2018. So it definitely at first when I was watching, I'm like, this girl cries so much. Like, this is why I relate to Sailor Mars, because she's just like, shut up and do the job. But then as like the season got on, I like started crying because I'm like, oh my gosh, she's the princess. And so I started to fall in love with Sailor Moon herself and how selfless she is. And then, oh my gosh, I'm just a part of so many fandoms. Like this question just, it keeps expanding. My Hero Academia means a lot to me just because like Izuku Midoriya, like he's trying his best and he's trying so hard to be the number one. Like he doesn't care what it takes. That's how I feel. Oh my gosh, Disney princesses, especially like any Disney princess, like what they stand for, what they believe in, they fight for what's right and like what's in their heart. I just like so many fandom. Like I'm the Haikyuu because the boys are cute. Like just everything and anything.
Oh, I love it. And I know exactly what you mean with like, especially My Hero Academia. Just like, I think the characters are awesome. The quirks are amazing, that kind of thing. But I think what really gets to the heart of it, at least for me, is just the fact that these characters, like they're kids, like they're teenagers, they're trying their best. And especially someone like Izuku Midoriya, all he knows is to try and overcome. And even if the whole world is saying no, like, but you gotta go. You have to. And he always overcomes anything despite, see, I'm already off on a tangent. But like, he's just, I love it so much. And the heart and soul of it is just super exciting. But Jackie, any fandoms that you are a part of and that you hold very close to your heart?
Like Jalitza, I grew up on Disney princesses. When I was little, that's all I wanted to be, was a Disney princess. And I mean, I'm still obsessed with like Ariel, with Jasmine, I'm also like, I love the lesser known princesses like Esmeralda. Okay, she's not a princess technically, but the heroines like Kira from Atlantis, I love Jane from Tarzan. I mean, I could go on and on about my love for Disney for forever. Harry Potter's another big one. When I was a teenager, what I think was really cool was like I was of the generation that actually grew up with Harry. So like I was a young kid when the first book came out, and then by the time the last book was released, I was I guess I was 19 maybe. I don't remember exactly, but Harry Potter was very near and dear to me, and I started writing fan fiction. That's how I got my start writing, was Harry Potter fan fiction. And of course, Stranger Things. I'm obsessed with Stranger Things. The first con I ever went to as just a fan was Stranger Con last year in November. Every other con I've ever been to, I was working. But yeah, and I even have like this little graphic novel, Stranger Things, Zombie Boys. So yeah.
I love it so much. I love it so much. And for yourself, Deadpool, any other fandoms or characters or universes that you love very dear to your heart?
Well, similar to Cody, I grew up with Spider-Man and the X-Men. The story, the morals behind them, the characters, the driving force behind what they do, really did influence me a lot. So like Cody was saying, there's someone to him growing up to where you had Spider-Man, who was this your regular guy doing his very best despite having the majority of the world hate him, and him having to make these hard decisions. And then you have the X-Men on one hand, a group of complete misfits, people who would not normally fit in to your average typical society. Same thing, hated by the world, yet still doing their very best to protect those who, if given the chance, would do something bad to them. Fandom-wise, I'm huge into Halo. I wouldn't say I'm a well-versed person in the Halo mythos. I like Master Chief. I like the suit. I like the shooting games. Power Rangers. You guys can see up here. Pokemon. Baymax right there.
Yes!
Mario, Nintendo. Huge Jurassic Park. Huge dinosaur fan. So there's some other stuff that I was going to say that we're keeping this PG. So, but yeah, I wouldn't consider myself a attack helicopter, but if I could, maybe a Raptor.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it so much. And so, Miracle Austin, any fandoms close to your heart or fictional universes that you love a lot?
I do. I have a lot, but I'm going to try to keep it short and simple. All of Marvel and DC, a few of my favorites, Wonder Woman, Blade, Black Panther, Captain America, Supergirl, also Scooby-Doo. Grew up with Scooby-Doo. Love all the Scooby-Doo series, movies that come out. Karate Kid, Cobra Kai, huge fan. And of course, Stranger Things. And I'll end it with that for now.
I love it so much. And
I'm not gonna lie, I also forgot Star Wars because I love Star Wars. That was one thing I was thinking, how could I forget Padme Amidala, Star Wars?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to do one more quick shout out too. I have to list Golden Girls as one I got into early, and it's such a gay stereotype. Because even before I knew I was gay, I was a 10-year-old obsessed with these old women bantering with each other, and I don't know what it was, but it's like gay men are just drawn into Golden Girls, and yeah.
I love it so much. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. And I know
Stereotype.
Oh no. But I know for myself, like Jalitza, I know I kind of went off on a tangent already, but My Hero Academia is a super, super huge. And again, just like Disney in general, like I think one of my favorite Disney movies, and I'm not even sure why, is A Bug's Life. Like I know that movie like word for word. Like if you ask me, I can tell you like the entire script and just I quote it like on the daily in the most obscure ways. But Disney is a really huge one. My Hero Academia, I absolutely love. And if you know me. Yes, and if you know me at all in person, then you know that DC is a huge aspect of my life. I've got the Flash hats and keychains and Batman and Superman and Black Canary and Wonder Woman and Green Lantern and all of that. I absolutely love DC. And I did have a comment come in from Margie Longoria here from the Valley saying, "Hi, my loves."
Hi.
Margie.
Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in.
How did I forget Twilight?
Oh,
Yes.
yes, Jackie.
I'm embarrassed for you that you forgot.
I'm sorry. Again, I am too. Margie even gave me a Twilight lanyard that I wear to cons. One of my tweets for Midnight Sun went viral, and I got not super viral, but viral enough for me to get listed on 2 BuzzFeed articles. So yeah, I'm the Twilight girl.
Twilight. Oh, whoa. Casey, sorry, I have children.
You're good.
Forever.
And Margie Longoria says Twilight forever. And so my next question is going to deal a little bit more with the nitty gritty of stuff, a little bit like deeper, reflective, kind of gets you to think. But why do you think certain fictional universes, have the effect on people that they do? Like there are certain like franchises that like we watch and we digest and we connect and, we dress up as these characters and, we write fan fiction, we think of other things and people, make fan art of like the next generations and like different alternate universes and everything. So why do you think that these connections are made and entire groups of people are just united and, obsess over these and find such a deep connection in these universes? Starting with Cody.
Well, does someone else want to go first on this one?
I'll go. I'll
Go
jump
for
in.
it.
I definitely think. Sorry if I keep going first. I'm sorry. I love these questions. Like they're engaging. So I definitely think it involves escapism for a lot of younger children, like between 12 or even a younger, possibly like, but 12 to 18. Usually when I go to conventions, it's like an escape for them. Just entering a world where they don't have to think about issues at home or issues with school or their anxiety or their depression. So it very, very much like it just gives them that little sense of serotonin that they need just to keep going. That's how I feel about that. But yeah.
I love it. And I think you're absolutely right. Like there's that escapism of like, there's these characters go through struggles and these, plot lines can be just so you jump in and you get so sucked in. And I think I was talking to Jackie about this earlier and we were like vibing on it like a week or so ago of just like, we see these characters and I think a reason why we get so connected to them is that we see them in every aspect the way you would a real person. We see when they cry and we see when they hurt and we see when they struggle and we hear their thoughts and what's going on inside their heads. And, our brain, doesn't differentiate between like real person, fictional person. It just knows that that's a person and it's a person struggling and that you've seen grow and seen like overcome. And it's just really, really amazing. And I know Genesis is saying about Jalitza's answer. That's deep.
Just a little.
And Cody, what were you going to say?
Really? Am I still here?
Yes.
Oh, good. Oh, okay. Aligns with what you were saying. I also think it's about that relatability. Like you find a character that you relate to that presents maybe a piece of you, especially I think the underside, you really get drawn in because you imagine yourself going through that scenario, but at the same time, it makes you feel like you're not alone. I remember the time I read an LGBTQ character in a fantasy series, and it was everything to me because it was like, there were other people like me out there and they get to go through some really great stuff and I can put myself in their shoes and be there with them.
I love it. I love it so much. The representation is a big part of it too, like the connections that are made with that. Absolutely. Anybody else, Jackie or Deadpool or Miracle? Why do you think these connections are so deep and profound?
Jackie, are you going to go?
I agree.
Go right ahead.
I'm lagged. Remember, like I can hear y'all, and I'll start talking as soon as the question ends, and I know for some reason my answers are coming in delayed. And I'm so sorry about that. But building on what Jalitza said, as a kid, I was really awkward and I didn't make friends easily. And so for me, having, and kind of like what Katelynn said too, having those Disney princesses for me, I felt like they were kind of my friends. And I think that's why they were so special to me, because I could escape into that world, because there was a place where I had acceptance, even if it wasn't like in the fictional world. And with Harry Potter, when I was in middle school and high school, my family was going through some really, really hard times. And what did I do all summer? I reread and reread Harry Potter, and I started writing fan fiction because it was a way for me to escape. And these characters, these fictional places, so many of them feel like home. And I think that's why we love them.
Very true. Very true. I love that answer. And I know, Miracle, you had your own input on this?
Well, Deadpool, go ahead. You go right ahead.
Oh, okay. You know what? I'll let you go. I'll let you go first, because mine ends a little on the humor side.
Okay, you should. Okay. Just to piggyback on Jalitza and Jackie's, and also Cody's, I think when people cosplay, it's very therapeutic, and everyone needs an escape, especially from different issues that you may be dealing with, whether it's personal or someone that that you're dealing with a lot of struggles, and you can relate with all those characters because they also deal with different things in their lives, and it's a big reflection of them. So it's easy to transform into that character. So those are my thoughts. I could talk more about it, but I'm gonna leave it there.
Well, I without repeating what everybody else has said, I do agree. We are given this glimpse into another person's life, and us as readers, a lot in part to you authors alike. Thanks to y'all. When we sit down and read or view or watch something, it's as if we were deemed special enough to be brought into this universe, brought into this person's life, and we get to see them grow, develop. We feel that we're part of it, and it makes us feel special. We don't get to pick what family we're born into. We don't get to pick where we live, and we have to deal with it. And a lot of times, thanks to people that are surrounding me, these worlds that are created for us to read, we get to pick which world best suits us, pick which world we would rather go into, pick which world we can relate best to, and get to see the progress of that character and find hope and find compassion, find the things we may not be receiving in our world, in those that we get to pick. Thank you, authors.
I'm gonna cry. That was probably one of the. I honestly, I had never thought about it that before. That it's just like the fact that I feel in my personal experience probably is just like you get drawn to these things and you get sucked in, but it's as much of a choice as well of making those connections. Like, this is something that I relate to. This is my escape, and you choose it and you hold it and it grows. And that's so beautiful. I love it. And I did have a question coming from Manuel Ruiz saying, how much time do you take, or what process do you go through when deciding what to cosplay as before an event? So for the people who cosplay or are interested in cosplaying here on the panel, what is your process? Tell us all about that. Oh, Jalitza, you're muted.
You're muted.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. It depends on what convention I'm going to or what event I'm doing. For example, today I didn't decide until last minute. The group chat can even vouch for me. I was just like, oh. But also, if it's a convention that I know that I have groups or I know the schedule for, I'll be like, oh, okay, so the meetup is at this time. I'll be this during the day. At night, I'll do this. So it really all depends on the schedule and the event. So for My Hero Con, I had everything planned out because it was My Hero Academia, centered. So I like had Ochako like for 2 days, Frappi for 1, Najere for like half a day. So it very much like it depends on the schedule of everything. But so far, like it's like to me, like I do what I want to cosplay, and if I'm comfortable doing it, but yeah, it really all depends on the schedule and how I feel that day.
Very nice. And our other cosplayers, any input?
Y'all.
Well, I mean, same thing. It depends on
Well,
you.
I don't cosplay at. Oh,
It's okay. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Jackie.
It's okay.
I think she might be
I'm
on.
sorry. Again, my internet is it's so bad right now. but can you hear me?
You
We
can
can hear
hear
you, yes.
So at my book events and stuff, I don't cosplay all the time, but the first time I ever dressed up as a character was actually last summer. My sister and I casual cosplayed Crowley and Aziraphale from Good Omens. And then I ended up getting a Camp Nowhere shirt from Stranger Things as well, and a hat. And for me, it's if I can be comfortable in it, and if it doesn't take too much away from what I'm trying to sell. But like with this is the most comfortable outfit I own, and I love it, and I can geek out about Stranger Things with people. So I'm definitely I cannot wait for cons to start back up so I can wear this all the time.
Very nice, very nice. And Deadpool, your input on this?
I try to go with the theme of the con or an event or the day. For example, if it was like animate.
Uh-oh.
Hopefully she comes back.
Yeah.
Hopefully she comes back.
I did Deadpool Pinata. For a Pokemon event, I was Misty one year, and another year I was Ash as Deadpool. Usually it's one of those like just mesh, whatever the theme is, throw the mask on. Overall, it's just supposed to have fun. Make sure those who are attending have fun also. And just help whoever's there, just have fun as a group. Bring joy to people. That's what the cons are for. Want to get away from stuff and have fun. So
Yeah.
I love it. I love it so much. And I have a couple of other comments coming in. Raul Martinez Jr. says, I can so relate to your fandoms of Star Wars, DC superheroes, more so Marvel, and even I think Esmeralda has been nearly underappreciated as one of the princesses. So, yes.
Yeah.
And I have a couple of other comments from the Gruya Middle School Book Club. Judith Amayo says, I love you guys. All of you seem so nice. Thank you. David Leja, a local author who was on a panel yesterday, says, hello, my friends. Hi. Northopolis, who is a local author, Ray Banda, who was on a previous panel, says, Joe is the best Deadpool ever.
I need to show you some of this stuff, Ray. I got my...
And he also says Deadpool is also an honorary RGB Ghostbuster. That's true.
Also, Jackie just messaged me to let me know that she's just switching devices really fast, but she'll be back on.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think she's popping in at the bottom, and I'll bring her up. Yes.
Sorry.
There she goes.
I gave up on my computer because I was just too lagged and I didn't like it. So now I'm on my phone.
Turn your phone. Turn your phone. There you go.
That sounds good. Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
I love that. And I
Oh,
love
sorry,
it.
sorry.
Esmeralda. No, I'm sorry. I have comments coming in, and I'm like, keep track. But I have Esmeralda from the Gruya Middle School Book Club says, I think it's a matter of knowing the character. Some people just dress up as the character, and others take on the full character, personality, clothing, and all, and that must take a lot of work. I think that that's true. You know, you wear a Stranger Things T-shirt, or you wear like, you know, a Batman shirt, and I'm like, oh, you know, this is what I like. But I think that's another thing, and that's why hats off to Joe Hernandez as Deadpool. When you don the persona, you don the persona, and it's great, and it's animated, and it's so fun. But I do have a question from Genesis saying, where do you buy your cosplays, or like how do you make your cosplays and bring them? You know, how do they come together? So I know for myself, I've only been cosplaying for a very little while. Last year at an event here in the Rio Grande Valley Border Book Bash, we were encouraged to dress up as a character. So the very first time I ever actively made the decision, I'm going to dress up as a character, I was Kara Danvers, aka Supergirl. So I had like her dress shirt with the Supergirl shirt under, and like I printed a little ID that was like Catco Worldwide Media, and it had like a picture of myself. And for other things, I found for Anime Fiesta here in McAllen, that was last year, I bought the UA gym uniform, and I was just as myself. I didn't do like hair or makeup or anything. I just rocked the uniform, did that. And then for the Tadashi Hamada, I'm wearing my own jeans, and this was my cardigan, but I bought the shirt and the hat, and I bought the, you know, mint green shoes just off of Amazon, the hat off of Amazon, the shirt off of Etsy. And I think I just actively look for, you know, the specific item. And then I look at reviews and try to see like what's going to mesh, and also what can I reuse. Like this cardigan is something that I use like in my everyday life, but when it's time to be Tadashi, I'm like, let's bust it out. So the practicality of it too. But for other cosplayers, where do you buy? How do you make your outfits? What's the deal?
With my hat or my
with your hand, with like,
or a sewing machine sometimes.
Very nice, very nice.
Oh, well, Katelynn, just to touch on your last question real quick too, is about the cosplay. I have a group, and every year in Arizona, even though we live in Phoenix, we rent out a hotel in their Comic-Con that they have, and we all stay there all weekend, and it feels like you're in a different world. And this group that I'm with, I'm pretty new to them. They take it so seriously, and they want to outdo themselves each year in terms of the group costume. So they literally have Google Docs that we keep like tabs of, and everyone puts ideas and who could be what. And you really have to take into account people's body types, their gender identity, and all that whenever you're doing the cosplay. And so we'll literally pare it down, have meetings about it. It's the nerdiest thing ever, and then start weeding it out to find the perfect one. But we ended up doing Golden Girls last year, and we all went in drag because it was all my guy friends except for me, and I was the cheesecake table. And I actually had a cheesecake fascinator on my head. But whenever we were going through and doing it, a lot of it was like, we're not really into buying like something just off the rack, but you don't have to buy everything brand new. Whenever they were doing their stuff, they were looking through their closets, they were looking through wardrobes, they were going to Goodwill, because you can piece together some amazing things with just what you have in your home.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. I love it. And that goes to one of the next comments that I have, where Kiara Valencia on YouTube says, hello, you all look so cool, and I make my cosplay. So that also goes back to what Deadpool was saying, where you were saying you make everything by hand and like sewing machine and things. If you want to talk a little bit more about that.
I'm still fairly a noob when it comes to sewing machine stuff. I have not invested a lot of money, such as buying a serger. I do just have a brother, the runway version one. I also have done some stuff with foam, cardboard, a few other materials. In reality, it's up to you. Like Cody was saying, it depends on you and how much you want to invest in it and how much fun you can have in it. Don't feel pressure to have to make a movie scale Hollywood type cosplay, and at the same time, there's nothing wrong with buying yours off the rack. It all depends on your on what you want to spend, and remember, be mindful of what you can be spending. You don't want to break the bank on something and have to live off ramen or nothing wrong with ramen. I love ramen, but you know, you don't want to try to impress people that it doesn't matter to impress. Have fun, enjoy yourself. You know.
Uh-oh.
Oh, okay.
You're back.
You know,
No worries. You're still here, Jackie.
Welcome back. It's okay.
I'm having so many problems.
It is all good.
This is
Technology.
the entertainment of the panel.
It's a Stranger Things universe. That's why.
It is.
That's
You're right. You're right.
Because I'm in the upside
Yeah,
down. and
You're in the upside
my
down.
powers are.
If it goes grayscale, black and white, we believe you definitely.
Yes.
That's taking
Yes.
a notch right there. Right there.
Kiara, it's so cool that you do make your cosplays. Like, props to you. My friends are getting on me for it. I am a Amazon queen of buying cosplays. I don't care. I'm just like, as long as it's there, I'm happy. But my friends have been getting on me for it. They're like, well, it's more expensive if you do it that way. I'm like, I don't care. I need it now. So I personally, that's just me. But I am sewing now. I actually, I cleared off my table. My little sewing machine is right here. My little brother. I also do EVA foam. I'm working with the craft foam, and there's another thing. It's like you spray it. It's like not contact cement, but it's like it works really well because it turns into foam and you can carve it and stuff. So I'm working with all that material now because I feel like I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, I feel comfortable in Amazon cosplays. However, I want to step up my own personal game. So it's all, your personal budget too. Honest to God, I commissioned my Princess Serenity dress from one of my friends I went to art school with, and she has her degree in fashion. So I was like, hey, can I commission a dress for you? So it has that wedding material. So it was it was a hefty price tag, but it was commissioned and made by someone I knew that I could trust. So you can always commission someone. You can go off of Depop, Amazon, or thrifting. Especially one of my Sailor Moon casual outfits that she owns, I thrifted it all for under $10, or not $10, $15. Let me push it up because I know I spent the skirt was $12 and the shirt was $3. So I definitely I thrift a lot too. So it's all about your budget and what you want to spend. And at the end of the day, as long as you're happy with your cosplay, that's all that should matter.
I love it. I love it. And I want to extend this question to Miracle as well, because every time I see you, you're in an amazing merchandise shirt or your Stranger Things leggings. I think about them at least once a week. I'm they're just so nice. And just
Sure.
How do you decide what you're going to wear to an event, or is it just what you're feeling that day, or, with so much merchandise, how do you decide?
Yes, Katelynn, thank you so much. I am a huge t-shirt and legging fangirl. I do have a little collection. Sometimes I don't even tell my husband that I have something coming because he knows about my ordering. But it just kind of depends on the mood, on my mood. And I match up a lot too. Katelynn, I don't always match the t-shirt with the leggings. Sometimes I'll just mash it up. It's just fun to me. And basically just how I'm feeling when I wake up, and sometimes I'll just close my eyes and just pick something out and boom, there you go. It could be a song that I'm listening to, while I'm getting ready and I'm thinking I'm going to go that direction. And then I change directions all of a sudden, but, depending on the song. So it just varies a lot. And I'm not Jalitza and also Deadpool. They are huge cosplayers, and like you said, I don't cosplay like that. I'm more of a t-shirt legging girl, and I'm a huge cosplay watcher. My husband does cosplay, and I do throw him ideas, and then he transforms to the ideas that I throw him. So he loves doing that way more than I do, but I do love to watch. I love watching it all the time, so it definitely gives me a lot of joy.
I love it. I love it so much. And I did have a question regarding, well, let's do a fun one first before we get back into the nitty gritty and deep questions. But I have one of just what is your most obscure fandom, or like maybe one that not a lot of people know about, or it's just like kind of like wild, or you know, if you say it, people are like, "What's that?" Or if you say it, people, "Oh, I remember that." I know. For myself, I am oddly obsessed with Danny Phantom. And I was like 7 when the show came out. So I like grew, or no, younger than that. It was like 2005 or something like that. So like I grew up with it and like watched it on Nickelodeon. And like now in my adulthood, I'm like, time to rewatch. And like Danny Phantom is one that's like not a lot of people remember it. And if you do remember it, you have like very vague memories. But that's one. I was joking around with Jackie that I am a huge proponent of the Whataburger fandom. I've got a bandana and sunglasses and keychain, and like Whataburger is my place. So that's also a thing. And I can't, I had like answers prepared for this question as well. And I can't really think, if I think of more, then I'll say, but you know, mainstream ones like DC and My Hero and all that is a thing. But I know the odd ones that are like, oh my gosh, there would be Danny Phantom and like Whataburger. So if anybody else has some odd or obscure fandoms, we can go down the line, starting with Cody.
Oh, sure. I mean, I have. I'll list a couple of them. I love how since Jackie went to her phone, she looks like a model. She's all like,
I know, you're like,
it's so cute. I love it.
I love it.
For the cracking.
Do
A
I?
little bit.
No,
Yeah, like my phone is cracking, and I put down my computer, and I'm trying to like. Okay, it stopped. I've been trying to like rearrange it to maybe get it to stop.
Do you have headphones?
The Demogorgon trying to communicate.
It is. I get the ones that would. Again, the upside down. It is the Demogorgon. It is. It's just messing with this whole thing.
I was like, definitely if you like you can put in headphones with like a little dongle or whatever, that could help reduce that noise.
I have to go out and get the dongle, and I don't want to take the phone on a tour. Okay, it stopped now. It stopped.
Yeah, it stopped. Okay, right. Oh, so okay, so should I continue?
Yes.
Are we ready? Oh, okay. Sorry. I didn't know if we need to stop or not. I'll just list a couple. First, I was super into Nancy Drew. Like, oh my God, Nancy Drew was my everything. Nancy Best and George. The first stuff I ever wrote was Nancy Drew fan fiction because I thought that she wasn't in enough danger, and so I wanted her to be in like real peril, so it would be more exciting. And so I would write her like actually getting shot at and stuff. And I was so proud of my Nancy Drew fan fiction. And then the second one is newer, and I don't know how obscure it is, but I just started watching and just binged Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency. And it's by Douglas Adams, who wrote Hitchhiker's Guide. And me and my boyfriend are already planning our cosplay around it because the show is so good. If you haven't watched it, it's on Hulu. I'm being paid as a rep for them, so tune in. And that's all I have.
I love it. And Jalitza?
I'm like trying to think of like obscured fandoms. Like there's this, I guess 3. So like one of the animes I watch is called Maid Sama. And it's like a really older anime, but it's about a mean high school president. But then at night she works as a sweet maid cafe attendant. Super cute. So that's like anime. A normal-ish one would be like back in the day, I was obsessed with Kim Possible. So like that was, I love how we're talking about fan fictions because that was my first ever fan fiction I wrote was Kim Possible. High School Musical, also I'm obsessed with and love still to this day. I have no shame. And Miraculous, I guess like a more modern one would be Miraculous Ladybug.
Yes.
I was like, Caitlin and I literally had this conversation. Miraculous Ladybug, it may be a Disney Channel show, but it's still really good. So I love myself some Ladybug, Marinette, Adrianette, Mari Chat drama. Give it to me. So, yeah.
I love it so much. I love it so much. And yes, absolutely Miraculous. Like there are quite a few shows that like they're technically like, you know, children's shows. Like they're on Disney or they're like children's show on Netflix, but like, you know, Voltron or Big Hero 6 the series. I'm like, those are my obsessions. Love them. Love them. And Jackie, any of your obscure fandoms or a little bit lesser known?
My sister and I are absolutely obsessed with Frasier. We're in a group that's like just Frasier posting all the time. And, you know, we were talking about it and we remembered a few years ago when we were in New York, we were on a beautiful beach and we were quoting Frasier. We were watching a sunset on a beach in New York and quoting Frasier. That's all we were doing. And my car's name is Niles. So
I love it.
kind of
I love it.
Frasier.
And for Deadpool yourself, any odd or obscure or lesser known fandoms that you're in love with?
Yes, and I kind of wish they'd bring it back, but they haven't. But starting from the very, very beginning, it was Dino Riders. For those who may be my age or older. Dino Riders, and from there went to more obscure, well, back then, Dragon Ball was Ronin Warriors. There, it bumped up to Evangelion in the late 90s, and still slowly trickling in. You had to go to Blockbuster or Hollywood Video, woo, to get some of that stuff. Then getting a little bit older, let's see. Fandoms. Oh, I'm sorry, coming back. Earthworm Jim, who is coming back. The author's doing a new comic book. That one was really cool. Swamp Thing, the cartoon.
Oh yeah.
Really awesome. Right now, I'm a huge fan of Archer. The rest is pretty mainstream by now. I mean, thanks to Crunchyroll, thanks to Netflix, a lot of anime has really, boom, blasted up center back into mainstream. There are out there for you young that Netflix cannot have, but if you find it in a safe, legal way that will not destroy your computer or get you fired, feel free to jump in on anime.
Very true, very true. I know. I think a lot of the viewers right now are anime fans because they're saying like they're different characters and stuff. Like I know Genesis was saying, "My boy Nishinoya is so cute," and like all these different they're commenting as they're going. So that's great. But Miracle, any of your obscure fandoms or lesser known or what's
yeah. I do, Caitlin. I have like 3. I don't know who remembers these, but the Bugaloos. I was a big fan of the Bugaloos when I was little. Garbage Pail Kids. I know R.L. Stein is reviving those characters with the new series that he's doing. And Tales from the Crypt Keeper. Love him. So, yeah.
Very nice. And my next question is going to get a little bit more into the nitty gritty of just, has your relationship with like a fandom or like a fictional universe show kind of thing grown up as you did, or did you grow up with it? Like maybe as it progressed or as you continued to watch, you learned things about yourself. Maybe it was on for so long, or the series was over a couple years that you found yourself not being the same person as you were when you started it. What is there a timeline where you grew up and the relationship grew, the fandom grew, and you deep reflective thoughts on this kind of thing? And anyone who wants to jump in about this certain question.
Well, if any of you guys are from the 90s, Full House, a couple years back, jumped back into Fuller House. And so is Boy Meets World with now Girl Meets World. A lot of those, for those who are not, maybe have not gone around the world a couple times, really neat seeing that because you kind of get to place yourself back into that family. I'm like, oh wow, that was their age. They're going through this. Now that I'm this age and they're that age, they're going through this too. Like, it's really neat, and it's kind of comforting, comfort food for your eyes and soul, because you grew up with them and now you're seeing them as adults, as you're an adult. So a lot of that stuff is it helps. I don't want to see centered to, but remind you of your humanity that everybody that you.
I love it. And Cody, I think were you going to chime into this as well?
Oh, sure. I mean, I think for me, I was looking at it just a little bit different in that, whenever I was a kid, I got super into Next Generation. And I thought it was so good, and I was obsessed with it. 1, because of my crush on Commander Riker, but 2, at the time, it was about just the cool sci-fi stuff they were doing and the action. I thought that was so great. But as I got older and then rewatched the series, suddenly you start noticing the nuances. You start noticing like there is an episode where there's kind of a gender neutral character that Riker falls in love with. And you start realizing that they were actually doing these deeper shows that kind of talked about, like they had a social commentary. And as I grew up, I started noticing these more and started becoming more invested in the kind of character driven side of the show versus just the action and the sci-fi, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And we do have a comment from Esmeralda saying like, yes, I literally cried when I finished watching it. Because I know they're having like their own like conversation as they're listening to us and like saying different things like as they're speaking. So that's really cool. But and anyone else with that, you know, relationship, growing up, seeing the fandom evolve and yourself evolve as you continue?
I think for me, like Teen Wolf, when I first watched the movies with Michael J. Fox and Jason Bateman, you know, I fell in love with those films. And then to see when MTV brought the Teen Wolf series and just their stories just evolved more, the relationships, and just kind of just growing up with the movies and then actually, you know, being able to watch a full series about the story and learning more about the characters' lives and all of the twists and turns and everything that they have to deal with. So I was really impressed with that. And it is amazing how they can sometimes take a movie and build it into a series in a different universe and just expand. So I was really impressed with that series. Mm-hmm.
I love it. And Jalitza and Jackie, any of like you've grown up with this or you've evolved throughout it?
So this is going to be a little wild. Go, Jackie, go. You go. Go. You go.
I'm sorry. So many, again, it's just such a, my internet keeps freezing, even on my phone. It's just not good. But this isn't like one of my major fandoms, but I've recently begun rewatching Sister on Netflix from the very beginning.
Good one.
And I watched it all the time as a kid, and I'm realizing watching it as an adult from the get-go, like straight through, is such a different experience. I'm catching so much more. I'm finding it funnier than I did in the 90s, because when I was a kid watching it, all I'm thinking is, I want a twin. They're so fun. I want to be in high school and be cool like them. And now as an adult, I'm watching it thinking, oh my gosh, this show was so clever. And it was so, I don't know, it was just, it feels kind of like comfort food for the soul. It's just so, I love it so much. It's so 90s. It's so family oriented. I love it.
That's great. And Jalitza, for yourself?
So this is a little bit wild, but the Jonas Brothers. I grew up with them. Like I started loving them in 2008 and seeing them as the men and the husbands that they are now. I just kind of aged with them. So it was just nice seeing their progression with my progression and just like always reflecting and looking back on their music and be like, this is what I grew up with. And this is like, I was hurting during SOS because like I went through a breakup in 6th grade. Like, so I love the Jonas Brothers, and that's something like I always can. I don't want to say bittersweet feeling because it's not bittersweet. It's a wholesome, like Jackie said, it's comfort food for the soul, and that's how I feel about the Jonas Brothers.
I love it. And I know, like, even, you know, when I was growing up, like, Jonas Brothers, I had, like, their show as well, like, on Disney Channel, Jonas and all that. And, like, I know when it first hit the internet that they were going to come back and that they were going to do, I screamed and, like, was ready to just, like, cry, like, this is happening, like, this is evolving, and it's so great. But my next question would be, what is your favorite piece of merch, or maybe like cosplay, like, you know, article of clothing, or it could be a poster, it could be a keychain, like all sorts of things. And I know for me, I have a tie for 2 of them. I have my Let me unravel it. I have my Shoto Todoroki t-shirt that is actually, I got signed by David Matrenga at Anime Fiesta last year. And so he was like, how do you want me to make it out? And he was so nice and so just very sweet, saying like, Kate, I'll be a hero, David Matrenga. And I cried afterwards, and it was so great. And so this is something that I cherish. This is the first time I ever met like a voice actor or like celebrity for anything. So this is definitely something that was really, really close. And on my lanyard, I carry this everywhere I go. I have my 3 best boys from My Hero in this nice little 8-bit design from Miracle Austin. She gave these to me for Christmas. So these are everywhere I go. They guard my license and my UTRGV ID and everything. So I've got my 3 favorite boys with me at all times, Deku, Bakugo, and Todoroki. So those are definitely my 2 favorite pieces of merchandise. And I carry those with me everywhere I go, just like, look. This is what I love. And so thank you, Miracle. I definitely cherish them. I have them with me all the time. So I don't know if you guys want to go down the line or just pop out answers, but anyone else with a favorite piece of merch?
Going down the line is easier for me since my internet is so bad.
Okay. Then Cody.
Oh, so okay, it's me. Okay, so yeah, I am also a huge Disney fan as well. Huge Disney fan, and I grew up actually obsessing over Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast. And last year, we went to Disney, and there's like what they call it's a dress-up day. It has a name, and I forgot what it is under all this pressure.
Dapper Day?
Dapper Day, thank you. Yeah. And I went as Boy Belle. And so that was another thing about cosplay that I would recommend for people is your cosplays don't have to look identical. Make them your own. And so I did my Boy Belle, and so I had these sky blue pants. And I actually, this was my favorite thing, I found this shirt that had silver roses embroidered in the white shirt. And so that was my, tribute to the rose and Beauty and the Beast, and I wore that. And I thought it was just really beautiful, and it was just a really cool piece to add to the outfit, and that was my favorite thing.
Very nice.
So I've got a few items. Hold on, give me 1 second. They're right there. Give me 1 second. Okay.
We have excited puppies. Excited dogs.
Why you guys hate me?
But remember, for anybody on Facebook or YouTube, if you have any questions or any comments as we're talking and everything, we'd love to engage in conversation. I know we lost Cody. I'm sure he'll come back. But any comments or questions or things that you want to say, I can bring it up. We can engage. So I know Jalitza's back with a few items.
So my 2 favorite items that I own are my Sailor Moon moon rod. I love her to death. She lights up and like makes all the noises and stuff. I love her. And then my new addition is, this wants to stay. Oh my gosh, give me 1 second. Is my army bomb for BTS. I love this bomb so much. It's so bright. But yeah, it's my BTS army bomb. Love them. Army. Love them. Yeah.
I love it. And Miracle Austin, any of your favorite merchandise?
I do. I have a few. I have a lot, but I'm just going to go with my top 3. This is a print. I don't know if you can see it, but it's Christmas story print. Yeah, my niece brought this for me. We grew up watching Christmas Story every year. Watched like 2 or 3 times. We record it and watch it over and over again. So it's one of our favorites. Triple dog there. And then one of my newest is from Jacqueline Smith, my Black Panther kitty that she gifted me recently, and I just love this one very much. And my last one, I got this one back in I think 2014 when I went to the World Horror Con in Portland, and it's Monster Girls, and it was just so diverse. I just love diversity, and I just fell in love with it. So I had to have it. So one day it'll be a story about these girls. But anyhow, I just had to snatch it up. So those are my 3.
I love it. And I know, Cody, you're back and you gave your answer with the shirt and the silver roses and everything.
Yeah, so you heard it?
Yes, we heard your story. I think you cut off right as Jalitza was still talking, but I think Jackie just said she can't hear, and I know she's frozen.
Oh,
I don't.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. But I think while we're, you're good. We can hear you. Do you want to tell us about your favorite merch items?
So my favorite, I collect art. I've collected art since 2015. And I have a lot of my favorite fandoms. Like I said, I love Atlantis. So here's Kira, Queen Kira. She's not a Disney princess, she's a Disney queen. I have some cool Harry Potter friends. It's hard with the phone, y'all. And then, Cusco, because Cusco is the best. Don't throw off his groove. But yeah, so I also have a whole wall over here of my fan art prints that I collected. I have like a Princess Bride, I have Esmeralda, have the 4 Hogwarts founders that I'm afraid that if I move my phone at all again, I'll lose you. So just take my word for it. My art collection is awesome.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And Deadpool, for yourself, any favorite pieces of merch?
Woo! I got some Master Chief Legendary Edition. I think it's Halo 3 or Halo 2. Original Game Boy. Modern Warfare Night Vision goggles. Red Ranger Legacy Power Ranger helmet. Legacy Morphers. Captain America shield. Deadpool random stuff. What else did I got? I got some other stuff. A really adorable family helps me. Gave me a one-of-a-kind handmade Deadpool candy bowl. Let me grab it to show you. Oops. Maybe not. I ran into stuff. And one of my other ones from a real close friend, if you're watching, a signed autograph from the one and only Canadian Ryan Reynolds. So.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Some stuff. Don't want to break anything, so but it's there. Actually, you know what? Maybe. Let me see. Don't want to.
We're going on an adventure.
Oh, okay, a tour.
So there is a signed one. Some of my other Deadpool stuff. Mighty Mugs. If you want to fight, we can fight. I think they're better than the Pops. I'm sorry. Mighty Mugs should have never been discontinued. That's just my opinion. There is the... Where are we at?
Ooh.
That is the handmade Deadpool candy. This doesn't belong there. Candy bowl. Let's see here. Where we at? Over here. Oh, and Chriselle too. If you're watching, thank you. There's the Deadpool Build-A-Bear. He's in here. Very, very special. I don't want him getting dirty or anything, so he's staying in his box. Helmet, Morpher, more Halo gear. So I don't know if you guys. There you go. Y'all can see that stuff. There.
Yay! I love it, and I love the Build-A-Bear. Oh, that makes me so happy. So we are at 3:22. We're nearing 3:30. So I did want to have 2 more questions, and not to rush, but I want to make sure the answers, you guys give your insight and give your opinion and everything. But I am going to start off with a question that's coming in from YouTube from Esmeralda saying, what are some animes you'd recommend other than the ones you've already mentioned? And I know I'm still new. I want to learn from this question too. It's just I'm still trying to grow my watch list and everything. So going down the line, Jalitza, any anime recommendations?
Yeah, of course. If you're like a magical girl series, or if you like lighthearted animes, I can give a few recommendations. If you've never seen Ouran High School Host Club, that is a staple in the anime community. 10/10 recommend you need to watch that. If you like more of the darker stuff, of course, Attack on Titan, and Hunter x Hunter. Those are very that kind of genre. I don't lean towards it, but to each their own. Little Witch Academia is on Netflix. There's 2 seasons. It's super cute. It's about witches learning how to be witches. That's the most anime recommendations I can give right now. Because I think I've listed off everything I love.
Very nice. And Miracle, what about recommendations from yourself?
It's on my watch list. I haven't watched it yet. But Lisa gave some really good recommendations, but I'm curious about Tokyo Ghoul. I don't know if you know much about that one, but I am interested in that, so I'll be adding that to my watch list soon. And that's probably I'm gonna leave it at that one.
I'm gonna throw one more because I forgot. Or actually 2 more. Or 3. Okay, I'm sorry. I just thought of it. I just pulled up my list right now.
You're good.
Fire Force. Fire Force.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
10/10 recommend it. I love Fire Force. Fruits Basket is a classic also. They did a 90s version. They just updated it. Caitlin Glass is the director for the dub. I love her to death. 10/10 recommend Fruits Basket. And forgive me, I'm probably going to butcher this, but it's Shidagai Dagashi.
Okay.
That one's like a convenience store kid who like has to run it because his dad is like lazy, and then this girl comes in, she's like, I'm the queen of convenience stores, I can help you, and it's just like, what is happening? And then the last one I recommend, if you like Dungeons and Dragons and like a little bit of fantasy, I recommend Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? It is a comical, action-packed, a little bit of romance. I love it. That is one of my best ones.
Thank you. I'll definitely.
Very nice. And Cody, I don't know if you have a little bit of insight here, or things that you're interested in watching, or recommendations.
I don't have a lot to add. As I mentioned, anime's not my strongest suit, but I don't think I heard Naruto being mentioned, and I have watched a little bit of that and really liked it. And then I think Akira, the original movie, is kind of the quintessential starter anime movie which I've seen. So maybe that as well. And yeah, that's me.
Very nice. And Jackie, any recommendations or things you want to hear more about?
So I'll be honest, I don't watch very much anime, so I'll just forfeit all my answers to Jalitza.
Okay. And Deadpool, any of your own recommendations or things you want to see more of?
Well, for the Netflix community, if you still have Netflix, Violet Evergarden, if you're really looking to old bills, don't have to worry about it. That one's a good one to watch. No there. Another one was Your Life, Netflix one. Oh, that one right here. Gets you all the time. Very good. Family. Worry about any over the top, stereotypical anime stuff. You know what I mean. So if you want to watch that one without worrying about somebody walking in and, hey, what are you doing now? Hey, cartoon, fam. Cartoon. But it's very deep and does hit here.
Very nice. And so we are about to hit 3:30. So my final question to our panelists before we sign off and they give all of their plugs and shout outs to where you can find them after this is, how do you think, fictional universes inspire the work of other creators? And creators can be a very broad term. That can be writers, authors, cosplayers, directors, actors. How do you think that these fictional universes inspire other creators to do the work that they do? And I know for myself, I think that it just ties back to those connections. Like you see these characters. And for me, I always get sucked into the characters. The storylines are always really great, but I just love to see how the characters grow, and their rationale and their personalities is always so interesting and dynamic. Like I know in My Hero, Izuku and Midoriya and Akatsuki Bakugo could not be more different. Like that's a huge part of the show. But you see how they're faced with the same problem and they overcome in their own different ways, and they're growing and they're learning and they're breaking through their shells in order to become the best heroes they can be. And I think that inspires, other creators. Like as a writer, I want to try to create the best characters I can. And I want to make them as real and raw and, learning and growing as I possibly can. And, seeing something created in such a beautiful way where the characters can manifest as people. You see them as these real people with lives and, opinions and insights and strengths and weaknesses. And that's what I try to do in my own work. And I'm always looking out for, I always get attached and I always cry. And I probably too much for my own good of just seeing the characters grow and learn. And that's my take on it. But Jalitza, yourself? Oh, you're muted.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I mute myself because the dogs are barking, so I tried my best to mute it and then unmute it. I think the best thing, I'm trying to find creators inspire other creators no matter what. So I feel like if I see a cosplayer that I love or admire, or a writer that I love and admire, I'm just I want to work with you, or I want to be on the same level as you. Because when I was in college, the motto I was taught was, someone is always working 10 times harder than you, so you need to match them. So I try to have that mentality, and I'm just I want to be as good as you. I want to be I don't want to say better than you because that seems condescending, but I want to be on the best level I can be to match you. Or just collaborating with other artists helps me be inspired too. So Jackie and I, for example, I fell in love with boy band, so I want to adapt her book into a movie, and that's something that we're currently working towards. Granted, Corona very much made everything sad, but we're still working towards that goal. We're still trying to figure out ways that we can connect with our audience, gain more followers, gain the funding that we need. So it's very much I love collaborating with other artists. I love collaborating with other cosplayers too. If you want to do ship photos, let me know. I'm here. But yeah, so it's I just love collaborating with other artists more than anything.
I love it. I love it. And Miracle, how do you think creators inspire other creators?
I agree. Jalitza, sorry. I'm so sorry. I mispronounced your name. I totally agree with you, and I believe if we didn't have, Stephen King, H.P. Lovecraft, Steven Spielberg, the creators of Dungeons and Dragons, there would never be Stranger Things would never have happened. The same thing, with The Witcher. If there never was books about that or games, we never would have had the series. So I believe it just overflows with influencing on so many different levels. Authors, whether they're, huge authors or indie authors, I think we all influence each other in different ways. So thank goodness for that.
Wonderful. I love it. And Cody, how do you think creators inspire other creators?
Yeah, honestly, I don't think you could name even an amazing original fandom that exists today that isn't built on 20 other things beneath it. And I think what it really comes down to is people find things that they really resonate with in fiction or other fandoms, and those kind of get stored away, and they either subconsciously or consciously come out because they're so pervasive in your life that they start coming out in your work. And so I've got an article up right now that talks about 20 films, comics, books, and video games that inspired The Matrix. And The Matrix feels so original, but they talk about Ghost in the Shell, other anime inspiring The Matrix. And it even just goes into things like Total Recall. And there are all these fandoms that I think that, if that goes to that, maybe there's not particularly a really original idea, but thank God we have these wonderful things to build off of as we're creating our worlds as well.
I love that. I love that a lot. And Jackie, how do you think creators inspire other creators?
I agree 100% with what has been said. I know that I have a theory that, like what Cody said, all fiction, especially well, I don't even want to say especially books, but all fiction is some form of fan fiction. I can tell you each and every one of my books, I call it some sort of fan fiction. Like Boy Band is definitely One Direction fan fiction, as we were talking about with Jalitza. And another, I'm a big fan of like Christmas movies where a prince falls in love with a commoner, and I actually wrote a book inspired by all those Hallmark movies and like the Christmas Prince series on Netflix. And Jalitza and I actually collaborated, and she cosplayed Princess Rosalind in a beautiful photo shoot that we did last Christmas. I'm hoping to do another one again this year, pandemic permitting. So yeah, no, definitely. I cannot name anything that wasn't inspired by someone else creating something first.
Very nice. And Deadpool, how do you think creators inspire other creators?
Like we said, I mean, we would not have Pacific Rim not for Nia Evangelion. I'll shout out about Matrix. We have a lot of stuff that would not have One Punch Man or another not kind of silly that has to do with water sports, but nothing to do with water. That is a parody, a parody of actually that already exists. There's a bunch of other stuff right now that I just lost my train of thought. But we would not have a lot of stuff now. Whether it's paying homage, whether it's more like I said, fan fiction, we need each other to help build each other. So, as long as it's not plagiarism, continue inspiring and inspiring.
I love it. I love it. And I wanted to say thank you so much for having all of you being here. It's just, this is the first time like I work with Jalitza like this. It's amazing. And I haven't seen Miracle or Cody or Jackie in so long since they live out. And even Deadpool, I miss you. I haven't seen you in about a year. And just being able to, come together and all of us work together, especially in something like this was so much fun. And like the dressing up and the talking and the conversations, it was really great. So really quickly before we sign off, I would like to go one by one, and you all can say goodbye, and you could tell us where we can find you after this, social media, website, anything you want to plug, and we'll start with Jalitza.
Thank you again, Katelynn, so much for hosting this panel. This has been such a hoot. I love learning and, talking about fandoms with everybody. I just love communicating. So thank you, especially during times like this. I feel like this is something that we needed. So thank you to you. Again, my name is Jalitza Delgado. I have a Instagram, fangirlproductions.cos. That is my cosplay one. You can also follow me on my acting one. It's Jalitza, spelled like my name. So definitely go check it out. Two things I'll plug is go ahead and watch Aper Ramand on Funimation. I play Fumi. That is my first voiceover role with Funimation. I'm very thankful and blessed for Caitlin Glass. I do have a lot more things coming out that I just can't announce yet, but if you follow my social medias, I will be making announcements there. And go ahead and actually head to the theaters in a safe, socially distanced place. But a movie I'm in called Yellow Rose is now playing. We got acquired by Sony, so it is in theaters right now. So definitely go ahead and check those out.
Thank you and congratulations. A round of applause from everybody here. Absolutely. And Miracle Austin, where can we find you after this, and any things to plug?
Definitely on Facebook. This is Miracle Austin on Facebook. Website www.miracleaustin.com. Also Instagram and Twitter, Miracle Austin 7. And I'm just in the process of ongoing writing when I can. And I do have a question. Your movie, you said the Yellow Rose or Yellow Rose, is it on demand or is it just in theaters only?
It's only in theaters right now because we have a contract with Sony. Okay. So once ever, like our rights with Sony, and we'll go ahead and go into streaming. But I know Cinemark right now is showing it, and like Cinemark has one of the best socially distanced policies right now. So definitely head to Cinemark or AMC to watch it.
Okay. Well, I watched the preview and it looked really interesting. So
Yeah, I'm super excited. Like I haven't even seen it yet. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to go see it.
thank you, Katelynn.
Very nice. Thank you. And Cody, where can we find you after this?
Yeah, so you can find my novel, The Gay Teen's Guide to Defeating the Siren, on Amazon. Just search for my name. It's Fishing the Keys Up. Book 3 will be out either this year or first thing next year. It's with my editor. And then you can find me on Instagram at wagner.writer or wagner-writer.com. Those are my main online channels. And thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, thank you. And Jackie Smith, where can we find you after this?
Hi. So you can find me on my website. Yay, there's one man. And there's Jalitza. Cheers. At www.windtrailpublishing.com. You can find me on Facebook. I believe it's Jacqueline Smith, author. You can find me on Instagram at just Jacqueline E. Smith. And it's my full name, no dots, no spaces, no nothing. Or you can find me on Amazon, and my 5 main titles are on Kindle Unlimited, including boy band and trashy romance novel, and soon to be trashy suspense novel within hopefully the next month or so. So I'm very excited about that. And again, I'm sorry for all the technical difficulties. Blame it on the Demogorgon. And Katelynn, I love you. Thank you so much for putting this all together. I've had the best time.
Yes, thank you so much. Then I'm so glad again that you all could be here. And so for Joe Hernandez, where can we find you after this as Deadpool, and otherwise, where are you available? I know you're pointing to your handle there. Where are you available? Where can we find you?
All right, you can find me on the internet on Facebook. Facebook, find my human life. Joe Hernandez. Also, you can find my Deadpool as Cosplayer. And on Instagram, you can find me under this tag, TOO, the other Deadpool. I'm more active on Instagram. And at events, usually any South Comic Con, Boom Comics, or any Super Ramian Friends Inc. for dirty stuff. And every come back. Those 5. So, love you guys. Katelynn, you're awesome. Thank you for everything.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you all for coming. And I have a couple final comments before we leave. Manuel Ruiz says, great panel. Really enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, Manuel. And I have from Rosario Zuna, one book or novel at a time, saying, I really enjoyed learning from each and every one of you. Very nice topics. Thank you. And Kiara Valencia says, you all are very cool people. Love sharing this time with you today. Thank you for watching. So this is not the end. After this panel, we have another panel coming up at 4 o'clock, and every single weekend in October at 2 and 4, all sorts of different genres, all sorts of different topics. Thank you for watching. And if you want to rewatch or learn more, you can find them at author Katelynn Rentería on YouTube and Facebook, and authorkatelynnrenteria.com/the-right-crowd. And Marchi Longoria says, love you guys and miss you.
Thank you.
And Judith Tamayo says, bye. Have a great day. Have a great day, Judith. Thank you for tuning in. Esmeralda is also saying bye. So thank you all so very much for joining. And I hope you all have a fantastical day. And I know I will for sure be seeing you all very soon, virtually and hopefully in person in the future. So bye. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Wait, are we still live?
I'm ending it in 3, 2, 1.